My 11-year-old doesn't want me to say goodbye to him at school. He's like, "Can you not do that to your face?" I'm like, "Do what?" He's like, "Smile." Like so I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize my smile made you so upset." So then I would like smile bigger. And there's always comedy. As long as you're a mom, there's always content.
Life Reimagined with Stacey Ray.
Hi.
Hi, Stacey.
It is so great to meet you.
Great to meet you. I love your blue hair.
Ooh, thank you. And do you like the no makeup look? Because, my thing is, hey, I'm all about being authentic, and I decided this morning I'm on strike. No makeup. This is what 65 looks like.
You're beautiful. I love
Oh,
your tan, sun-kissed skin. You don't need makeup. I would have gone without makeup too, but I wanted to look a little awake.
oh,
But yeah.
you look as awake as a perimenopausal mom can look, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted Alyce Chan for our Mother's Day episode because if anyone can turn the madness of mom life into comedy gold, it's her. So, this is awesome. Motherhood is one of those things that I find to be a conundrum every day of the week, every hour of the day, because you're either a mom or, in our case, a daughter. And it's like, which role am I in right now? Which role?
Oh,
And wait till your little boys think that they're your parent. I
oh,
have one of those now. My daughter
yeah.
is now in her mind my parent.
Mhm.
So tell me how a shy little girl ends up on stage and with this amazing forum that you have for moms.
Oh, I think when I was little, my parents didn't really praise me. So I didn't have any confidence. It didn't come from anywhere. I was very shy. English was a struggle. It was my second language. I was embarrassed to speak
Yeah.
Cantonese in public. No one taught us English. Like my parents had a little Chinese supermarket in Chinatown,
Oh,
and we would go to Chinese school, and all I saw were like Chinese kids all the way up to 6 years old. And then we moved to a predominantly white neighborhood. And it was just me and maybe two other Asian girls in school. And we were teased a lot. And so that kind of just suppressed my personality even more so. Because I'm like, well, I can't speak up at home because I would either get yelled at or ignored. So it's not like I was conditioned to speak up. And at school, I was getting teased every time I spoke because I had a thick accent or didn't know how to really pronunciate English words. So I kept myself kind of like quiet and small so I didn't get harassed. And it wasn't until I was like 9 or 10 years old and I was failing fourth grade. I didn't do my homework. My parents were arguing all the time and I was struggling with conflict at home. So I think that had to do with it. And my teacher sat me down and I thought she was going to say something nice to me. And she said, "Alice, next year in fifth grade, I'm going to separate you from all your friends." I only had like two really good friends and I just stuck to them like magnets. And
sure.
it scared me because I'm like, "Wait, I don't know how to make new friends. I don't know how to like come up with conversations and initiate friendship." And so that scared me and she said, "You're a mute." And that was my first time I heard the word mute.
Wait, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, she called you a
Yeah,
mute?
she did. That word was stuck in my head forever. I was like, I didn't know what that meant.
Oh,
And she goes,
buddy.
"You know what a mute is, right? Like someone who doesn't talk." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's me." And I wanted to fix that. And I think because I was a middle child and always hearing my parents argue, I became the problem solver. I'm like, how am I going to fix
Oh,
this? And so I'm like, okay, Alice, how am I going to fix this? I'm going to have to make new friends in a year. How am I going to do that? And I bought this book. We have a monthly school order. We order books. And there was this book that was titled How to Make Friends from A to Z, like your A to Z guide. And I was like, this is a book for me. bought the book. I was so embarrassed when it came to class. I ran home after school and I opened it up and it went from A to Z, the whole alphabet. And the first page was A is for acne. Do you have acne? Because if you do, you should get rid of it. No one wants to be friends with people who have skin problems. Can you believe that, Stacey? This book does not exist.
No, I am
Is it mind-boggling?
speechless.
Yeah.
Speechless.
1984. And
Wow.
I was like, okay, good. I don't have any acne. Move on to page B.
Yay, what's B?
Right. And B, C, D, E were not relevant to me because I don't remember, I don't recall what they were. But I remember I stopped on page F and I didn't read anymore after that. And it said, funny. Are you funny? Because people love to laugh and people love jokes. If you're not funny, you're not going to be able to make friends. And it hit me, Stacey. I was like, I have to be funny. And that's like a 10,
Oh,
9, 10-year-old girl. I'm like, oh, what do I do? And my aunt at that time, my mom and her siblings have a big age gap. And my aunt at that time was in high school and she was a senior. And she said, I know the perfect book for you. She gave me a book. She said, study this, rehearse these jokes, and tell them to your friends. And Stacey, this book was called 101 Dirty Jokes.
oh my God.
And as a 10-year-old, I'm like, okay.
Okay, why not?
And then the next morning, I was like, anyone want to hear dirty jokes? And all the boys, not to generalize, but all the
Right,
boys stayed behind for recess and all the
right.
girls left. And I
Yeah.
was in the classroom sitting on a table and all the boys were on the carpet and I was telling these jokes, reciting these jokes.
Like it's story time.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
like, Bob and Bill walked into a bar. Like, I had no idea what I was talking about. The kids were laughing and it felt so good that I made people laugh and people weren't laughing at me.
Right. They were laughing with you.
Right, and I had control over that,
Yeah.
and after that feeling, I got kicked out of the classroom because the teachers found out that I was using the classroom as my comedy venue, and I started to do other things. I'm like, "What else can I do to make my friends laugh?" And I start doing impersonations, like, I loved Richard Simmons doing "Sweatin' to the '80s."
One for me and one for you. Royce, it's sweating time!
Oh gosh. Blast from the past. Yeah.
So amazing. He's so lovely and smiley and happy all the time. So I pretended to be him and it made my friends laugh. And I kept doing that. And it became my survival mechanism to just survive school, to survive the bullies. And then it became my tool to deflect pain. So if people wanted to talk about serious things, I would make a joke. Until this day, my sisters would be, Alice, can you just be serious for once? Just 1 minute? And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. How'd your parents feel about all this?
My parents, I don't think really understood what I mean, they never knew what I went through in school. My mom and dad thought everything was fine, and then I got better grades, so my dad and mom were like, "Oh, yeah, she's totally fine."
Right.
And I was very creative. I was very sneaky, I would, lie to my mom, "I'm going to my friend's house to sleep over," but I was, like, somewhere else, and
Right.
so I do tell my mom, like, Mom, it's because you and dad argued so much, I became so creative because I became such a solution-oriented kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was in my head so many nights just thinking, how can I solve this? And I remember talking to my dad at 7 years old. I thought I had the solution, Stacey. I was like, oh, I can solve it. I can solve my mom and dad not arguing anymore. And I sat down with him. I'm like, Dad, I have an idea. Why don't you divorce mom? And Stacey, as a Chinese family, divorce is frowned upon in Chinese.
Oh, okay.
My dad almost hit me. He was like, "What the hell did you say to me?" And I was like, "Isn't that a brilliant idea? Like,
Right. And then all the fighting will stop
yeah,
and
shouldn't you guys not live together?"
right.
And I'm still impressed that I was able to say that at 7 years old
No kidding.
because divorce is, no kid wants their parents divorced.
No.
But I thought this was the best way.
But it was also a solution to stopping all the conflict and the chaos and the pain and
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Did you
So
ever present that to your mom?
no, because my dad was so mad at me. And I was like, okay, I'll never repeat this ever again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are they still together?
So they were together until I was going to college. And then my dad had a huge gambling problem and we went bankrupt. He's a very smart man
Right,
who can turn anything into money. He was a great businessman, but his downfall was his gambling. And so we went bankrupt. My mom and dad split. I lived with my mom. My dad lived on his own. And
right.
that was for over 25 years. They were living separately. But my dad still had his business. He downsized it. And my mom, ironically, saw him every day because she and him are business partners. So she would drive him to his office. They would have lunch together. They would run errands.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a very odd relationship.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with your mom?
Well, I had a lot of resentment towards my mom until my mid-30s.
Oh,
I remember feeling, as a kid, you don't remember a lot, but you do remember how you feel. And I think subconsciously things come up, especially when you're asleep and you're dreaming. And I had a lot of recurring dreams of my mom neglecting me, ignoring me, and I would wake up angry. And one day, my sister sent me to this sound meditation and it was very intense, and I felt like I got all the rage out of my system, and this felt like 20 years of therapy wrapped in 2 hours, and now my mom and I have such a beautiful bond, like a relationship, and I forgive her for everything she did. I understand her circumstances. I'm so grateful that she put us through school, even though my dad had an addiction to gambling, she was able to purchase a home on her own with all the money she saved up from their business. So financially, she was doing really well, and she took care of us, and she put us
right,
through university, and
right.
so our relationship is really good right now.
That's amazing.
Mm,
As I was starting to say to you when we first got on the call, like Catholic guilt has nothing on mother guilt or daughter guilt,
right.
right? I know even myself, I had such a, I'll call it a mixed relationship with my mom.
Mm.
I have a daughter who's almost 40, and that's not always a perfect relationship either, but I find that I always feel guilty.
Yes.
I felt guilty if I wasn't doing everything my mom wanted. I felt guilty because I didn't think I was the perfect mom. I always laugh at your videos, especially the recent one about the snow days.
Today we had a beautiful snow day. My kids wanted me to take them outside to watch the snow. I want to be a great mom, so I said yes, even though I want to stay inside to watch the snow.
And it was making me laugh so hard because I was like, I get it. We start out with this like plan. Oh, this
Mhm.
will be perfect. And no, it's not. I know you said your mom neglected you and things like that, but was she like more of a tiger mom, expecting like absolute perfection every second?
It's funny, you would think because back then, there were a lot of very strict parents. My parents were never strict about our grades. They expect us to do well, but I was never like, I wouldn't, all those jokes you hear in the stories, like, I brought home an A, they're asking why not an A plus, never
Right.
happened. They were only strict about curfew, no sleepovers,
Ah,
you gotta
more of
be
the
home.
social
Yeah,
stuff.
socially, I needed to be home by 4:30. That's it. After school, you could do whatever you want, but you have to be home by 4:30. You have to have dinner at the dinner table. You have to clear the table, and you have to be in bed or your lights out by 10 p.m. That's it. But no pressure in the academics.
That's interesting. My father put no pressure on me whatsoever with regard to school. My mom actually tried to live her dreams through me
Oh, really?
my entire life, really till the day she died, honestly.
What does she do? What does she want you to be? Like a dancer,
Oh, listen.
theater,
I
doctor?
if I could tell you how many careers my mom was trying to set me up. One was she sent me to dealer school to be in a casino.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I used to go to New York every day. I lived in Jersey. I would take the train in every day and I would learn 6 weeks, 8 hours a day. I was learning how to manipulate chips.
Oh
Never
my,
mind even getting to the game. Guess what? I had zero desire to be a dealer in a casino.
Did your mom like going to the casino?
Yeah,
Okay, so
loved
my
it.
dad loved the casino. Like, you would have made my dad proud.
Yeah. And this and what's so funny, this was when Atlantic City was just opening up and she saw this as a great career path for me and young girl and I would listen, I will tell you something that only two people know. My brother knows this, my daughter knows this. One of her great ideas for one of my careers was to be an escort.
No.
Yes. Yes, she
Oof.
wanted me to be an escort because she thought, well, if you're doing it, why not get paid for it? You could be so successful at it. I
Wow.
swear on my life.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know, right?
So did you
Like,
do it?
and she, no, listen, I was like, freeze better, trust me. But it was like, where would she come up with these things? You know? But conversely, I mean, I have to say, she was always proud of me. Nothing she wouldn't have done for me, but I tell my brother I always thought my mother had the secret desire to be a criminal. Yeah. I mean, like I always think like I can't imagine ever giving my daughter some of the advice that I was given, but I can remember doing things where I think I was off my rocker. I mean,
Give me an example.
completely. You know, like driving my daughters to rush, 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 rush. I have to get to work. Let's go. Let's go. I had to drive my daughter to school. And there were days where she'd go, but mommy, there's no school. And I'd go, stop lying to me. Get dressed. Get in the car. And we'd pull up to the school. Not a soul.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
And I was just
Stacey,
like out there somewhere.
Stacey, I did a sketch like that.
Oh,
I was like, let's
really?
go to school, let's go, let's go. We get there, and I'm so happy that I'm getting rid of my kid. And he's like, there's no one here. It's a Sunday. I'm like, oh. So I know where your brain was at that.
Yeah. So, did you have other careers before you decided to like make comedy your full time?
Oh, yeah. I was always into fine arts, but I also knew practically you can't make a lot of money painting. So I thought, okay, do digital art. So web design, graphic design,
Oh,
I did that. And I went to like a year intensive school after I did my bachelor's in economics because
yeah.
I thought needed to do something practical. And my mom's putting me through university. You have to do 4 years of that. And then worked at a bank as a bank teller, then like
Was
a
that like super ho hum
oh,
boring?
totally, totally. But
Yawn.
yeah, very. But I made good friends and I loved the culture. And then I did marketing. So it's like, how do you make mutual funds sexy? Really can't. And that kind of killed my soul. And then I kind of just did some acting on the side, but I was always like a lazy actor. I don't think I was meant to be an actor. And then I moved to New York, did some acting, did some improv classes, realized they weren't for me. And then someone suggested stand up, did one stand up class at Caroline's. So it's a well known club in New York, no longer exists. And after 10 weeks, we were able to do a show. We were supposed to invite friends and family only. So it was obviously a very supportive crowd. And I did 5 minutes and I loved it. And I wanted to continue that because it was a very empowering feeling, even though it was friends and family. The laughter that you get, it
Oh,
reminded me, I guess, those feelings I had when I was
when you
10,
were a kid.
feeling
Yeah.
empowered and in control, and people were actually listening to me. It's something else. Like, if you haven't tried it, I would suggest everyone to just try it once because it could be for you. You never
Oh my
know. I
gosh,
didn't
I
think
would
it
be
was for me.
petrified.
I was petrified, but once you're on stage, that kind of goes away. It's the anticipation.
Ah,
Getting up to the stage is the most terrifying. But once you're on that stage and you start talking, it really isn't because everything you are saying is scripted. It's in your head already.
how scary is it for you? Do you still have any kind of stage fright
Yeah,
or
I do all the time.
do
I'm
you?
always like, why am I doing this? Why do I put myself through this like right before a show? And
Well,
then I
because
get
you're so good, but
I
Yeah.
get I get nervous. I have to go to the bathroom and pee like 5 times before I'm on stage. I get more nervous when I know people I know are in the crowd because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna judge me. They're gonna be like, 'Alice isn't funny on stage.'" I have all these thoughts, and, I'm a total wreck before the show. It isn't until I start hearing the first laughter from the audience, and then I'm present.
And then you start to
Then I'm really
relax and
yeah, because I'm like, "Okay, we're all in it together. We're in a
yeah.
room." And I feel their energy, and that's what
Mhm.
keeps me going. If I don't feel the energy from the audience, I'll have a bad show.
Yeah. You have 2 little boys,
I
correct?
do. They're 8 and 11.
Interesting age for boys, I would imagine.
Yes. Very cute. But 11-year-old, like when you were saying, wait till your child tries to parent you, my 11-year-old is already giving me advice.
Oh,
Yeah, so it starts pretty early. Yeah. He's like, you could have a lot more followers on Instagram if you could listen to me. Like, you're not targeting everybody. You're not even targeting dads. He's like, "You should
ah.
target dads."
That I can relate. I can relate because my business, we target women.
Mhm.
Maybe we should be targeting the men so that they will send their
Yeah, and support their yes.
moms and wives and things like that, but
Yeah.
might be an interesting piece of advice. Yeah. So, do they ever come to see your comedy routines?
No, I do not allow anyone under 18 to come to
Oh,
my shows.
okay.
There was at one point in my life that I was fresh back into comedy, and I was producing a Bring Your Own Baby comedy, BYOB. So, moms would bring their newborns, people on maternity, paternity leave.
Yeah.
We can't go out at night because we're just way too exhausted. Would come
Yeah.
to a morning show, bring their babies, let them crawl on the floor while they just get entertained for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was when my kids came. And, I would wear my baby and like riff, do jokes about his dad. And he didn't understand anything, which was like awesome. But now they understand things. So, and some of my material is like not for them because I tease them. I talk
Yeah.
about them. And I sometimes I tell them, like, that was a joke, right? Like when I say I don't like that I don't have a favorite and the dog is my favorite. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we know, we know.
Yeah. 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 So, are they impressed by your career?
No,
Not at all.
no, no.
Yeah.
They're like,
You're
why do
just
people,
mom.
yeah, they're like, why do people think you're funny? And then someone came up to me and they're like, this is your, oh my gosh, these are your sons. Do you know that your mom is funny? And they're like, no, she's not.
No,
Yeah,
she's
they're
not
not.
funny at all, especially when she sends me to my room.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm like, I know. Well, my target audience anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. So, do you get a lot of moms looking for advice from you outside of the humor part?
They don't come to me for advice. I don't think they
They
think I
just
have
need
any
the
advice.
comic relief
Yeah.
of yeah.
Yeah, I think they come to me to feel less alone,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've never had anyone ask me for advice.
Yeah. Yeah. I read some of the comments on your Instagram and I love when I read, I feel seen, I feel heard. That always tells me that someone's doing something great because
Uh,
as women, it's hard enough that we feel invisible.
yeah.
And, you used the word earlier, small. It's so easy. And when you're a mom, it's constant guilt. And
Mm,
I don't know if that comes from societal expectations, familial expectations, self expectations, but you have made a career now out of using humor and laughter to deflect a lot of that. And what do you say to someone who's just feeling so guilty
mm,
that they're just not doing it right or they're not doing enough? They're not
mm.
the perfect mom.
I say there's no such thing as perfect. There's no perfect kid, there's no perfect husband, perfect dad, and you can't do all of it. So stop trying to do all of it. Do one of something and then move on to the other thing. And when you realize when you're doing one thing, you are letting go of something else. And just don't feel guilty of that. If you're going to be going to a job interview, you're not going to be able to pick up your kid.
Right.
Someone else will have to pick up your kid, and you're going to feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to let that go because you can't be at a job interview and be present with your kid. So pick and choose what is going to be a priority at that time for you and get rid of the word guilt. I have a lot of that and I'm still working through that. And I'm like, I'm going to travel this weekend, not spend time with my kids. I can't be at both places at time. I'm
No.
choosing to travel, fill my cup, perform, but I also know my kids are going to have a blast with their dad. I'm lucky enough that I'm not, I have a partner at home to help.
Right.
But single parenting is hard, and I don't know how single parents do it. And I still need a community. If I have my husband, I still need friends. I'm like going away next week. I'll be like, hey, Andrea, can you help me pick up the kids? Hey, someone, you know what? I'm going to miss their swimming class because dad can't drive them after 4 p.m. So there are things that you're going to have to just take out,
Yeah.
but take the guilt away. Take that word out of it. Take the word out of your vocabulary.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe easier said than done. I don't know, but
When I'm doing sets and shows, it's usually at night, and I plan it so my husband will be at home. I'm very lucky that my partner can do the bedtime, and I will go out at night, do my show. Usually I'll come right back home unless we're like hanging out a bit, but I'm too tired. As a mom, I'm not hanging out till 1 or 2 in the morning. Plus I have a
right.
train to catch, and I have to be a mom in the morning. So I'm not like these 20-year-olds, these 30-year-olds where they can hang out till 4 in the morning
Right.
and wake up at
And
noon.
wake up at 3.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I'm not like that. So I need to be very selective with my shows. I don't do a show every night. I don't think I have the capacity to do it. And parenting is my priority. I have to be up and functional in the morning. And a show has to be worthwhile to do it.
Right.
I say no to a lot of shows, but there are certain shows I don't even get paid for, but I think it's worthwhile to do because of the networking and because of the actual club that I'll be performing at.
We'll dive deeper into that right after this quick break.
Life is meant for exploring, and Sisterhood Travels is your invitation to rediscover you. Specializing in group travel for women 45 and over, we offer exciting trips to stunning destinations around the globe. Imagine tasting exotic foods, marveling at breathtaking landscapes, and connecting with incredible women who share your zest for life. Step into adventure, friendship, and joy at sisterhoodtravels.com. This is your time, your journey.
Picking right up where we left off. I always laugh, and I know you have a clip on your Instagram, and I can't wait for our listeners to follow you because it's hilarious. But you have the one clip where you're talking about relating to White Lotus this season,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm talking about one of my friends, and
Love her. She's such a good mom. She's the prettiest.
And I don't judge.
Oh my god, never judge.
Yeah, remember?
Do you remember that number?
You're
Remember
so
when I
nice.
saw that?
I
You're
gained
so
much weight.
nice.
Percent anything, but
She's a hoe. Never liked her. She stole my nanny one time.
we all do that.
I know.
We're not judging,
yeah.
but we are.
It's
We
like,
are, right?
yeah, it's like who's the first to say it? Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, we love her. Oh my gosh, she's so nice. And then someone just said something like, but sometimes she could be a little cheap. Oh my gosh, she still owes me $20.
You're
Like,
right. Exactly.
it's,
Exactly.
I wonder if men do it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's funny because I think about with my husband, and he was just like so just chill about like everything, like whatever. And I remember when my husband and I were first together, and it was the first Mother's Day, and he said to me nothing about Mother's Day all day. Now, as the day is going on, I'm why? Then I'm like, wow. Then I'm like starting to get upset. Then I started to get angry. And finally that night, like before bed, I said to him, I said, I can't believe you. And he goes, what? And I go, you never even said Happy Mother's Day to me. And he goes, well, you're not my mother. Okay.
Oh.
So the next month when Father's Day came,
Ooh.
I said to him somewhere during the day, I go, hey, I said, I would have said Happy Father's Day to you, but you're not my father. But we make such a big deal out of Mother's Day.
Yeah.
To me, every day should be Mother's Day,
Yes.
right?
Yes, of course.
Like, moms are like the sheroes of the world,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yep.
I think, as Mother's Day is coming up, part of the my thing with that is that we've gotten so obsessed with that holiday.
Mm.
You're supposed to go to dinner. You're supposed to take them to dinner. You're supposed to give a gift. You're supposed to send flowers. No, send a card. No, I'm not talking to my daughter. No, I'm not talking to my mother. And I think it's like overall, it's a make people feel bad holiday.
Ooh.
Like,
Mm. Yeah.
because like we said earlier, Mother's Day should be like every day,
Yeah.
right? Celebrate your fabulous mom.
Yeah.
Celebrate your fabulous children. And I remember when I was growing up, we would say to my mom, like, what do you want for Mother's Day? What do you want for Christmas? And the answer was always the same.
Nothing?
I'd love 3 children who mind me.
Oh.
So we'd wing it, but kind of get it now. It's, I could see where our moms were working so hard
Yep.
and trying to juggle so many things, just as we did, but with a lot less resources, I think.
Yes. No resources. They
Yeah,
weren't even talking. They probably didn't even know what they were going through when they were going through menopause or perimenopause. I just learned perimenopause, that word, 2 years ago.
and the fog never goes
But
away.
yeah, it's like,
It's
it's funny because when you're in your 40s, I say
yeah,
this to women, it's a joke. When you're in your 40s and you have this brain fog, you don't know if it's perimenopause or, you're aging or if you're pregnant. Like there's so many scenarios,
right.
right? You're
Yeah.
like, am I? Or is it this? Or is it ADHD? Is it perimenopause? Is it
Well,
pregnancy?
it always reminds me of Kindergarten Cop, where Arnold Schwarzenegger says, it's not a brain tumor.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
Right.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Because you're like, well, what could it be? What's wrong? I don't have time to go to the doctor, and if I did, I'm not going to go. But yeah, you do wonder, like, what's causing this? And does everybody else think I'm the wackadoodle that I think I am right now?
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't know how it would resonate with a lot of women, and a lot of women were saying, "Oh my gosh, I thought it was a brain tumor." So many comments, like people actually thought they were having a brain
Really?
tumor. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And I was joking, but
Oh yeah. And then one commenter said, "Hey, you should probably get this checked out. It sounds like schizophrenia."
schizophrenia.
I'm like, "Oh, now I have another thing to worry about."
Okay. My 40s. I've now, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get
People do have
diagnosed
their
on Instagram, which is great. It's free.
all day long, right?
I love it.
How do
Yeah.
you deal with the negative comments from people? Do you shut them down or do you delete them? How do you deal with that? 'Cause people are so mean.
Yeah, I don't delete it because it's good for engagement. And I sometimes do respond with a video and I think it's funny and I just play along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually have the most creative ideas when I suddenly wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and I start jotting them down on my phone. I'm like, this would be a great punchline, or this would be a great sketch, or I'll see something during the day, I'll bank it in my head, and hopefully I'll remember it, or I'll just jot it down like, oh, this would be funny. I'm going to do a comparison of how mealtime was like with my mom and how mealtime it is with my kids. And so that's a sketch that I'm going to be doing because I'm like, this is going to resonate with people. And I remember my mom, if I didn't finish my dinner, she would put her chopsticks down and just have a stern look at me and it would just finish all my dinner. That doesn't happen at my household. And I think that juxtaposition would be really funny. So it comes and goes and it's very sporadic. Sometimes I'll have a week and I'll have no ideas at all. And sometimes I'll have 3 ideas at 3 in the morning and I jot them down on my phone.
When you do your shows, do you have a particular demographic that comes to see you? Is it mostly like millennials, or do you even get like grandmas? Do you get young mom? Who comes to see you?
Over the recent years, I think I've seen young moms, millennials, empty nesters, and moms who bring their own moms, and also families. Like I saw like a dad, his mom, and their 2 kids who are
Right.
grown.
Yeah.
And I also found last year I did a show in Boston, this 20-something-year-old, these 2 girls came up to me very young for my demographic. They weren't even moms. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, we love you. We love you." And I'm like, "Are you guys like with your parents?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "No, we came together." I'm like, "You guys aren't moms, right?" And they're like, "No, no, we're in college." I'm like, "Oh wow, this like I was so disoriented because I'm like, I don't usually get such young people." And they're like, "Well, when we grow up, we want to be like you when we become moms." And I was like, "You know what? That's actually really sweet."
It's
Because if
very
I could
flattering.
it is because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not just talking to women who are currently or who have had kids at home. I'm I'm inspiring and young people
Yeah.
who may become parents one day. And I always thought my stuff won't be relatable to people who don't have kids. But if it's funny, it's funny.
Well, and I will tell you this, your stuff is timeless. It's classic because motherhood hasn't changed. Being a mom hasn't changed. Maybe, things in our world change, but you're struggling with the same things that I struggled with. And, the younger people will struggle with the things that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
So, how did you come up with the concept of MomCom NYC?
Oh my gosh, I was just because I loved rom-coms, so I'm like rom-com comedy, mom comedy. I just came up with that, and I was based in Brooklyn, so just started Instagram because I wanted some outlet
Right.
to be creative. And I was home all day with my 2 kids. It was like a newborn and a toddler. And
Yeah.
so it helped me condense my punchlines to a much smaller, in a little pixel or 1080 by 1080, you're forced to downsize your words to fit. And
That's
that's what
a
writing,
challenge.
yeah, and writing jokes is like that. You don't want too many words, too many fillers. You want to get to the point. You want to make it funny with as little words as possible.
Right.
And that Instagram kinda helped me do that, without going out to bars performing.
Well, and also, it's not just the words, it's your facial expressions and your mannerisms that make it even funnier.
Yeah,
Like,
that happened during COVID. It was all, just quotes for the first 2 years. It was
oh,
just like
wow.
vacationing with kids is not vacationing, like some silly meme or quip. And then COVID hit, and I remember I had to tutor or teach my kid how to read. And it was excruciating for me because he
I
couldn't
bet.
pronounce cat, and I'm like, "It's cat, cat," like and I'm like, this would be funny." And so I just had my camera, my phone, I put it up, and I just recorded my facial expression, like how bored I was, and I exaggerated it, and I put it on Instagram, and it really resonated with a lot of parents who were trying to homeschool their kids.
How did how did parents do that during
It's
COVID?
I couldn't.
When I will tell you right now, I probably with great impatience could teach someone, like reading or something like that. Math? They
No.
would be the biggest math flunky on the world. I don't know how to
No.
do math. How were parents doing all that?
They couldn't. Stacey, I think the next couple years were repairing all that brain damage, like, my kids got dumber, and I'm like, "Alice, you gotta stop teaching them because they're getting dumber by the minute. Let them watch TV." I got just
Yeah,
cut it
put
off.
the TV on, they'll learn something,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll learn something, and, like, they're not learning anything here. They're like, I'm melting their brain cells right now.
Oh my
Mm.
god. Totally, I feel like that would be me. I don't even have the patience for it.
I I don't
Eh,
think a lot of parents have the patience, like,
no.
bless the teachers. We not this is why they go to school,
Right,
because they're going to professionals who can handle that.
right,
Yeah.
right. So are you kids happy being back in school?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
I bet the first, like, few weeks, the kids were all like, "Oh, vacation forever." And then after that, it was like, "I'm a prisoner."
Yeah.
But for moms, even way
Oh
worse.
my god, we were so sick of each other. I mean, I was sick of my whole family.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm like, I just wanted them out of the house, and no one was
Yeah.
leaving the house.
Is that why you've named your current tour the Pee Alone Tour?
You see, you have to come, and you'll find out why. But yeah, there was like a full, I mean, still now that we have a dog, it's like if I go to the bathroom, he wants to come in. Someone always needs me when I'm in the bathroom.
Of
The kids
course
used to
they
come in.
do.
Yeah.
And they just walk in too.
Yeah, we like, why bother locking it? They're just gonna break the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so you weren't expecting to fall in love with your dog, but you have?
Gosh, Stacey, I said no to dog. I'm like, no. And I was like, if
Dog
you
is the D word, right?
it is. It's
Ah!
calling me all my jokes. Yeah, and he's so special. Like, I can't imagine life without him, but he is huge. He is 80 pounds. I didn't
Oh,
expect.
really?
Yeah. From no dog to an 80 pound. Like, I go to the gym to work out so I can walk him.
Oh my
He
gosh.
pulls, he's huge. He's like, his poops are like 8 pounds
Oh,
delivering a baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
And then he's like off and running, right?
Oh, he tries, and I'm like one hand on the leash and then the other hand trying to pick up the poop. And if another dog comes by, forget it. Like,
Oh my god,
yeah,
that would be like a
it's stressful.
cartoon.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
And he walks me. I don't walk him. He just like goes off and I'm just following him.
yeah, yeah. So when you go to the different comedy clubs, what is your biggest challenge aside from the obvious, maybe they won't think I'm funny or something like that, but it's kind of a rough circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Some of it's like, do they have a green room? You know, some clubs don't have a green room, and you're like in the hallway, and, or like you meet other comics. Are they going to be snotty, arrogant? I've met, comics that are big and they're like, I don't want to say hi to her. Like,
Oh,
yeah, different personalities. Other than that, I think usually the audience is the best part, even if they're heckling.
yeah.
Yeah,
How do you deal with the hecklers?
I love them. I love
Huh,
because they make the show funnier.
yeah,
As long as they're not rude and hateful, but
yeah,
usually they're just trying to be funny,
yeah,
and they're, like, trying to say something, but it ends up
right,
to be really silly or stupid,
yeah.
and the audience just wants them to shut up, and then there's a banter going on, and the audience is usually on the comic side. So when you're a heckler and you're saying something like, "Me too," or like, "Yeah, right," like, the audience hates you already, so you're already digging yourself in a hole, and you're gonna already make me more funny. So I welcome hecklers. I'll have a little banter with them and then hopefully shut them down.
Do you ever have the afterthoughts like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I should have said
Yes.
that."
Oh my gosh, say all the time.
Ah,
All the time. It's just like real life
yeah,
experiences where you get into conflict and you're like, oh, I should have said that to that person.
yeah,
You know, I
yeah,
always do that.
yeah. Is comedy still, especially, the comedy club genre, we'll say, is it still very male dominated
Yes.
or
It's less so, but still very male dominated. But
mhm.
I'm seeing a lot more women produced shows, all women lineup. And you see on Netflix even, like half of them, well, 40% are women. And they're funny, and
I know.
men can't deliver that type of content.
No.
There's that, yeah, that perspective from women. We need to hear that. We haven't seen that.
Yeah. When I listen to a male comedian, I mean, there's some of them are hilarious, obviously, but they're telling, all comedy, they say, is born from pain or conflict or whatever the case may be, but it's definitely from your own perspective, right? So if
Yes.
you're not a woman,
Yeah.
you're right. You can't offer that female perspective
Right.
and make it funny
Right.
because you haven't experienced it as a woman.
Exactly. And then,
Yeah.
like, sometimes I'll hear, like, dads joke about how hard it is to be a dad. I'm like, "Mm, okay, that's that's a male perspective. Let's hear from women. There are more women in the world. Like, we wanna hear from a woman's perspective. Like, you did not make that baby."
But they act like they birthed
Yeah,
it.
they're like, "Oh my gosh, I made a baby." No, you
Yeah.
didn't. You caught the
Okay.
pregnancy. You didn't make
Kudos.
Oh,
Right?
like
Yeah. So what's the most fun part of being a female comic for you?
the most fun part is working with other women comedians. And when I get to headline, I get to choose my comics that I want on stage. And it's not always down to who's funniest, who's most talented.
Right.
It's about likability,
Right.
professionalism, kindness, and that's what I look for. And usually those people are funny anyway. So I'm going to choose that over someone who's known to be funny.
Right.
It's not just about talent. You have to be kind. You have to be a good person.
I love that.
Yeah, and
I love that because I don't think that that's usually part of the formula.
it isn't. People are like, I want someone who's a killer, I want someone who's really talented who could bring people to the theater. I'm like, no, I want someone who's likable. And even or like if you're starting out, I see myself that I'm like if you're starting out and that person has talent and has only done comedy for 1 year, yeah, I'll put you on my show. 'Cause you're a good person, and I can see that you have great potential, and you're professional.
I think that's amazing because I've actually never heard of anybody frame it that way. And I don't know, like I love that saying that says kindness is free, spread that shit everywhere. I don't think we realize how small of a thing it really can be.
Yeah.
Just to take that extra minute to be kind, but you don't think of comedy as kind,
Yes.
right?
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kinda like, gotta have a mean bone in you. And I do, and I feel like I have a dark side, and I have a little bit of a mean bone towards people who are not nice. But my overall mission really, like, why I started MomCom is really to have women feel heard and seen and feel less alone. That's really my ultimate goal, and, like, at the end of a performance, I want people to feel united. I want people to feel like they were able to release and feel good,
And uplifted, yeah.
lifted.
And it's not all so bad and
Yeah, I mean, the world is bad, and there's a lot of bad things where you can look for bad things very easily. And when they come into a room, and this is very different from social media, you're coming into a room with a bunch of strangers, you get to just forget about the world for like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
yeah.
Why not? Just do that and have this time and just like have this free medicine, which is laughter. And
Yeah.
it's so good for you physically, mentally, emotionally.
And, and that's what I'm always trying to say to the women that we reach is that you've got to find the humor in situations. If it's the cliche, if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I would much prefer to laugh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Crying's going to mess up your makeup. It's going to give you puffy eyes.
I know. And then I'm gonna look like I have Cushing's or
Yeah,
something.
and laughing feels so much better.
Yeah.
You have
So what's the funniest thing your kids do to drive you nuts?
Oh, one time we did some like role play and they're like, "Mommy, I'm gonna be you be Adrian, and I'll be like and he'll be whatever." And it just made me laugh so much because I'm
Really?
like, that's how they see
They're
me as.
perception of your
They're like,
persona,
clean your
right?
room, clean your room, clean your room. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? I love it.
Yeah.
I love that they can make fun of me. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
do a lot, and I'm like, love it. Do it.
Yeah, my daughter has always made fun of me a little bit in a very good-natured way most of the time, and it does make me laugh. And it also, like, sometimes I go, "She really does get me,"
She gets you.
you know?
That's really
And
sweet.
that is special. What's the thing that you love the most about being a mom?
Oh, I really love when my kids are asleep and I'm looking at them, and I'm not like, when they're still and they're quiet and their eyes are closed and they're not
Yeah,
talking, they're so much cuter. And I'm like, wow, I'm able to keep them alive and safe. And watching them having joy, like if I surprise them, if I'm like, let's go to McDonald's, and they're so happy over something so small, I'm like, Seriously, between you and me, Stacey, I feel like a kid still. I'm
yeah,
still a kid.
yeah,
I still want to impress my mom. I still like, you know, I don't run like a kid anymore. I don't have the energy, but I feel like mentally I'm still like a big kid that has a job. And I'm able to take my kids to the playground and I like see how happy they are. I'm like, I feel it. I feel like I'm a kid too when they're
yeah.
happy, when I see the sparkle in
It's
their eye.
contagious,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like I'm getting you a milkshake. They're like, thank you, mommy. And they're like so grateful over a milkshake. I'm like, it's just a
And you're
milkshake.
like, "That's the best $5 I ever spent." Yeah.
No, it's $12.
Oh my god, are you
I didn't
kidding?
wanna tell you how expensive these milkshakes were.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we don't do that often.
Yeah, that's wow. The
Yeah,
price has gone up.
it's inflation, man.
Yeah, wow, wow, wow. So, do you think there's more in your future with MomCom of expanding to other things or
Yeah, I think it'll just have to be based on my phase in life. Like when I started Momcom, I was talking about non-sleeping, a lot of resentment towards my partner. I did a lot of like sketches about my husband being
oh
like a
yeah.
chump, and he would offer some advice to it too. He's like, you should make me look more like a chump and do this, Um, I made fun of him a lot. I made fun
Yeah.
of like toddlers, how they eat and how messy they were. And now I'm like talking a lot about brain fog, perimenopause, how my 11-year-old doesn't want me to say goodbye to him at school.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah. And he's like telling me, he's like, can you not do that to your face? I'm like, do what? He's like, smile. Like he doesn't, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize my smile made you so upset. So then I would like smile bigger. And
I hear
there's
you.
always comedy as long as you're a mom, there's always content, even when your kids aren't at home. There are so many funny stories I'm sure you can share with us.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I'd rather hear yours. I'm alone and I find I love it.
I I
I
bet.
it's always quiet.
Um,
And I gotta tell you, like I now live 10 minutes from my daughter, which I
yeah,
love.
that's amazing.
So when they come over, it's like it's I love it, but I'm also so thrilled when they leave because I'm like, okay, it's quiet now. No chaos.
Yeah,
Not that, she's creating all this chaos,
yeah,
but it's different,
yeah, it's
you
extra
know?
noise. It's
Yeah,
in the background.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I love, love, love that I've been honored to be her mom. She makes me proud every minute of the day. She's such a good daughter. She's a great human being. She's loving, she's kind,
Oh,
but she's nobody's pushover. And I like that too.
yeah.
But I think kids will be happier when their parents are happy. And I think you're a perfect case example of that from your own childhood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true, Steve. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and you just brought up some feeling and memory of me as a kid. I just wanted to see my mom happy. And
Yeah.
that would have been such a gift.
Yeah. But is she happy now?
She's happier now. She misses my dad, who we lost late 2023.
Oh, I'm
She's
sorry.
thank you.
Yeah.
He was 88. He waited until 88, and that's a good luck number in Chinese.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Loved the casino, so he was a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And she misses her parents, obviously. You know, when you lose your parents, that's the hardest thing to go through. She's happy that she gets to see my sisters. They live in Vancouver,
Right.
very close to her, and she has a 6-year-old grandson that stays over every weekend. So
Oh,
she
that's
gets to be a
yeah.
grandma and gets to be a grandma to our kids in the summer.
Right.
She loves it, and she also loves when we leave because she gets quiet alone time too. So I totally get it.
I can relate to
Yeah,
that too.
yeah,
But I know you can relate to it too because you just want to be
yeah.
alone.
Like today, Stacey, everyone is gone except the dog, and we have some construction guys. But not having my husband at home and the kids, I don't have to worry about people eating. What
Ah,
do you want for lunch? Are you gonna have a snack?
oh
Do
my
you
God.
need me to grab something for you?
And you know what the favorite answer always is? I don't care.
Yeah.
Until you put it in front of them and they're like,
Yeah. I don't
no.
want that.
Yeah.
Or
Do you
ew.
cook?
I um I love to cook, but I don't cook as much as I do because my kids won't eat what I make. Yeah, and my husband's really picky with veggies. So when I cook, I like to put onions and veggies and he doesn't like that. So
Ah.
so it's very tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't cook. But let me rephrase that. I don't cook often.
I don't cook often. No.
Yeah. I've started to do a little cooking. Like when my daughter comes over, I'll go, oh, you guys want to eat? And
Yeah.
I'll do that. But
Yeah.
I don't recall ever being like interested so much in cooking. But I do, if I could have one wish, I'd like a personal chef.
I would
Wouldn't
love
that be
to
awesome?
I would love to live with a personal chef
Oh God, me too. Me
and a
too.
personal trainer.
Yes. Yes. And a chauffeur. A personal
Oh,
chauffeur.
oh my gosh.
And especially for you in New York, wouldn't that be
Oh, I would
awesome?
love that.
Oh yeah. So if you had to pick chauffeur, trainer, chef, which one
Chef,
do you go with?
chef, because
Me
that
too.
person can take care of all the people.
Right.
Customize
Exactly.
dishes for everyone.
Exactly. Oh my God. Well, we're really gonna have to step up our game if we want to be able to afford. I mean, if milkshakes are $12, I can't
I know.
imagine what a
Personal
chef
chef.
is
I
gonna
know.
cost us,
Yeah.
but we'll
Well,
figure
then
it
I need
out.
my own TV show, Stacey, and then so I can afford it.
Okay, so I'm putting that out there again. Alyce Chan is your next superstar, and we've got to make that happen.
Yeah.
But listen, I have absolutely loved talking to you, and I do want to come see one of your shows live. Do you like to travel?
I love to travel, but also love the feeling when you get back home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where's your favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Bali.
Oh, talk about
Yeah.
mindfulness
Oh,
and
yeah. The spirituality of Bali and what I experienced was
yeah,
very close to what I was watching in White Lotus, and I was
yeah,
really feeling it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any last words for our listeners?
Just try to laugh every day and to find me at MomComNYC. Try to enjoy a comedy show, even if it's not mine.
I think laughing is absolutely the most wonderful feeling, especially when it's like a real belly laugh and
Oh,
you're,
when you're crying too, like it's
yeah,
medicine and it's good for your immune system.
I know. It's
And
even
it's,
better when you're peeing your pants.
oh, even better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Tearing down
sure.
your face and peeing your pants.
Right.
That's good
Which,
laugh.
by the way, as you go into perimenopause, becomes a very easy feat, doesn't it?
Stacey, I've been doing it before perimenopause.
Oh, well, there you
Been
go.
peeing my pants for the last 10 years. When I yell too loud at my kids, I pee my pants. That's how you
Yeah.
know when you're like a little too loud. I'd be yelling at them. I'm like, ah, I just peed my pants because you made me yell at you. My husband's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I pee my pants. Everyone needs to know.
The whole world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are so charming. I adore you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and taking time out of your busy schedule. And now I want to let you enjoy some more alone time in your place because that's
Yeah.
always so precious, right?
Oh, it is. Just me and the construction workers.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. This was so fun.
Hi, you. Yes, you. If you liked Alice's episode, we would love for you to hit like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Every time you do that, it helps us grow this podcast audience, and we want lots and lots of followers.